Okay, my couture crafters, let's get into this tag. This is going to be tag number 2 for our 12 tags of Christmas series. And we're hoping that we reach 12 tags, but who knows? We'll just enjoy the ones that get done. So this is me cleaning off my small Tim Holtz tonic mat that comes with that tonic glass mat that's underneath the little mini mat. And I just put down some ink and I just smushed it on there. And now we're going to build up our color by activating the ink with water and then just going back and forth, heating it, putting more water down, tapping it into the ink, and then drying it again. This has been a technique that Tim Holtz has used forever. Everybody uses it. And it just creates kind of a watercolor dimensional background, and it takes time. So it's a lot of back and forth until you get your desired look. I used tumbled glass and I think peacock feathers. And then, yeah, I think those are the colors that I used, tumbled glass and peacock feathers, if my mind serves me correctly. Because I wanted this tag to be a kind of a teal and orange color. So after I did that, I grabbed a shifter stencil, and that's what this is right here. And I'm going to use this to cover up my background. Now, originally I thought I wanted an entire blue and orange background, but really I didn't. I just wanted a little bit of orange, and I didn't find that out until I started. So I very rarely know where I'm going. I just kind of start. I've got an idea. I knew I wanted a blue and teal Christmas diva tag, but I didn't really know how it was going to get there. So we just kind of played. So I moved this. I hate using stencils, guys. I have a bunch of stencils and I don't like to use them because they move. And it's like, how the heck are you supposed to keep them down? Now I have pixie spray and tapes and all the things, but they still, they move. And then if you use the pixie spray, if you use too much, now your paper is sticky, blah, blah, blah. So you don't see me use stencils super often. I have a ton of them though. But anyway, I am shifting this stencil over. I'm not actually using the shifting feature. So as you can see, in order to get the spacing properly, the holes, I'm lining up the holes at this point so that I get diamonds all over edge to edge, top to bottom. Line up the holes. Because this is a shifter stencil, you're able to shift the stencil and cover up those diamonds with the plastic, and then you add another color, and then you've got 3 colors. And I believe this stencil, I think it's only this one, you can get at least 3 colors, maybe 4. I can't remember if you can get 4. So now I'm shifting. So now I'm covering up the dark blue diamonds that I just did with the plastic. First, I've got to clean it off so that I can switch colors without getting some cross contamination right here. But you shift the stencil. See, look, I shift it and I cover up the blue diamonds. And once I figure out where I want to start, I'm looking at the top and the left-hand side so that I get all the way off of the tag that I'm about to create. I don't want any lines. I want a continuous, pattern. So I shifted it. The blue diamonds are covered up, and now in the holes, it's hard to see because of the background. The background isn't stark white. If it were stark white, you'd be able to see it a little better. And then I looked at it and I was like, I don't need to cover up this whole tag with blue and orange. I was like, just the top and the bottom will be enough. And I'm really pleased with the way that came out, doing it that way. So again, we're going to cover up the blue diamonds. I'm looking right now at the right and the bottom, and I need to make sure that diamonds hang off both sides so that I don't get any harsh edges. And I'm not really paying attention to what I'm inking up. I'm just throwing some orange down, and that orange is ripe persimmon, and I love it. Fun fact, these are my wedding colors, and so teal and orange are just always going to be my jam. So when I cut this down, these tags are not small tags. I am going for big tags. My husband's like, what are you going to put those on? I'm like, first of all, people who give boxes for the holidays certainly can use a tag that's this size. I mean, we're so used to what we're used to. Anything outside of that just freaks us out. It's okay to put a big old tag on your present. I think it's pretty freaking cool. So I think I measured this piece of, I think that's watercolor paper. Is it watercolor paper? I think I used, no, that's cardstock. I think I used cardstock for this. 100 pound for sure. No, I used watercolor paper for this. I did. I used watercolor paper. And it wasn't like super expensive watercolor paper, just watercolor paper from Michael's out of one of those pads, those watercolor pads. My gift is not using an X-Acto knife. I am not one of those people. I see people who just work those things and it struggles. They struggle. I struggle so hard with with using an X-Acto knife. But I figured out the trick is having one that's sharp. So the one that I was just trying to use was not sharp. That was a fail. I mean, it worked. Obviously, you can see that I cut it out, but boy, was I working for it. Now watch. When I bust out this other one here, bam, paper gone, cut. I was like, wow, what a difference a sharp blade makes. So this is how I'm getting the paper onto this tag. This is an etc. tag by Stampers Anonymous, and they are thick, and they are like, it's like using MDF. And I like them. They are sturdy. You can play on them. They hold up really well to all the things. And so to get the circle out, I just went ahead and stuck that pointy blade in there and just kind of turned the tag around, and I was able to get a pretty decent circle. I cover up the edges of the circle at some point, you'll see, so that it's a clean finish, so that it looks like a tag. Now I'm going around the edges with Distress ink, and I did a combination of inks and oxides. The diamonds are done in oxides. The background is done in a combination of Distress ink and Distress oxide. When you put them together, it does really interesting things because ink is going to dive into your paper, whereas pigments are going to sit on top. So you can get more opacity. They show up better if you take an oxide and put it on top of an ink. Or an oxide on top of an oxide. You can actually see the colors. All right, let's do the baubles. At this point, I'm sure most of you guys know how to non-porous surfaces, alcohol ink, Sharpies. That's the way to go. These are smooth. So we're just going to throw a little alcohol ink in there and shake it, shake it, shake it. I got great coverage on the orange ones, and then I'm just going to put them down here on this paper towel. Try to make sure they're not touching each other. But that's where I let them dry. I got great opacity with this orange. The blue, however, came out crackled. I didn't mind. I'm sure it's probably in the way that I did it. I don't know if I put enough alcohol in there. I don't know if I should have swirled it before I started shaking it. Whatever. You get the point. They all turned blue and they all turned orange. And so I was fine with it. The colors I'm using, I think it's Valencia. So you saw in the set, it comes with that blue, and that blue wasn't right. I tested it on that paper towel. I'm glad that I did, because that was not the blue that I was going for. I was going for a more teal color. So I ended up using, I think, Laguna. I think I'm using Laguna. No, or is it straight turquoise? I honestly don't remember. But you can clearly see that one of them is blue and one of them is more teal. It's kind of like an orangey. I think it's, I don't know. I don't know what I use. And ain't no sense in me telling you. I'm going to put it in the description bar because I'm not. If you really want to know, ask me and I will pull it out and check it out and look for it. Don't forget you can color your ribbon. If you had a stark white ribbon, this one just happens to be kind of more on the blue end and I wanted it more blue-green. So I went ahead and colored it with alcohol ink. It only takes a few seconds for it to dry. Just another trick. Turn that ribbon into whatever color you want using your alcohol inks. And so this is just some cheapy ribbon that I got from either Michael's or Joann's. It's a orange satin and then that super thin blue that I turned blue-green. And I'm just using some good old Scotch tape to tape it around my head. Now this is something I will put in the description bar, is the link that I used to get this cut out. I got it off of Etsy from one of the Etsy shops. And it comes with that head in a few different ways. It comes with the lips, it comes with the eyelashes, and it comes with an earring that you'll all see me do. But yeah, I just cut it out, stuck the lips on, stuck the eyelashes on, and that was done. So for the back of the tag, I pretty much did the same thing except for I didn't do any blue diamonds. I only did the orange. And now I thought, let me grab this deer. This deer is from Unity Stamps. I like this deer. It's a really nice set. I like rubber stamps. I don't get to use them as often as I would like. So I'm using some VersaFine Clear ink here, and I just tap, tap, tap and load it up. And now we are pressing and we are leaving that deer on there. It's the very first time I've ever used that stamp. I did not get the world's best impression, but it was good enough for what we're going. I didn't botch it so bad. And I could have colored over it with the dark black marker, but I was cool with the way it came out. It was fine. So now I decide to glue her down. And I'm just using my art glitter glue. You know, that's my glue for most paper-to-paper projects. And I just went for it. I glued her down and then I said, let's do it. So to glue these baubles onto this paper, I decided to use Distress Collage Medium. That stuff pretty much, it doesn't cure instant, but it certainly will allow you to glue metal objects, non-porous objects to your paper, to each other, and it stays. It's a thicker glue, so I didn't have baubles rolling all around. Now the baubles, I got them as close as I could, but there were certainly some holes, and I figured I would go in, and I've seen people cover their holes with all different things, but I decided to use these little flowers. Best buy ever. I got these from Michael's years ago, and I'm so glad I did. That's probably the best buy that I've ever bought. I use them all the time. And I use I use dilution sprays for these flowers. And they came out really pretty. They've got a glossy kind of, not a glossy, a shiny kind of finish to them. I think I used Calypso Teal and something tangerine. You'll see it. The orange one and the blue-green one. At first I grabbed a blue. I think Calypso Teal is the one that's too blue. Maybe I used jade. Something jade. I don't know. Find the colors that you like and use them. Don't be scared. And now I'm just filling in kind of the whole areas with these flowers. And some of the flowers were stark white when I started. Some of them were green. Some of them were blue. That stuff is opaque. So when you spray it, it will turn it a color. I'm not saying that you can use yellow and purple together. But I am saying that if you have a color that is close to the color that you want it to be, go on ahead and spray them and see what you get. I tested the colors on that paper towel before I actually started spraying. And those sprayers, they get clogged. I just don't know of too many sprayers that don't. So it is what it is. I had to unscrew the top of one of them and put it in the other. It worked out fine. Just make sure to clear the nozzle before you start spraying, or be ready for the colors to mix at some point. You know, just be careful. But I must say they do clog. I've had those things clog on me quite a bit. I still like them though. They're beautiful. So I'm using my tweezers and I'm kind of picking and choosing where I want to put these flowers. And I'm pushing on them to see how far I want to push them, and I'm laying them on there. I'm kind of going back and forth. And then I decided that I wanted to put the baubles in the center of these flowers. I didn't just want to leave the flowers blank without anything on them. So the flowers are getting glued down with the same Distress Collage Medium in the bottle. I made sure to buy the bottle. They have smaller ones too. But the drying was just great. And once the stuff dries, it shrinks a bit. So if you have some oozing out, it might just hide underneath your embellishment, which is very nice. So for the back, it is a tag, and I'm expecting people to do the to and from for sure. So, I mean, it's a tag. I decided to do the backs with vinyl. I love vinyl on paper. Shout out to Deshauna, who got me using vinyl on paper, because I never would have thought to put vinyl on paper ever. But I went ahead and cut this out with my Cricut, and I'm using the Samanta font. There is a video that teaches you how to add glyphs and serifs and swirls to your fonts. And the prettiest one to me is the Samantha. It's super popular, and I kind of customized my to and from to be how I would like it to look, and I am obsessed. I also used it to say Merry Christmas Diva, which is what I think I'm cutting out now. I thought I was doing the back, but I think I'm working with the front. So you can't really see, but it's been cut out with the Cricut. Now it's time to weed. Now, everybody knows, everybody makes mistakes, and I'm hoping that I left mine in here because I tried to weed one of these, and it's been a while since I've used the weeding tool, and I just didn't do it right, and I just messed this up completely. And I had to really get over it and put my head in there and figure it out. But one of them, I just pulled up some stuff that shouldn't have been pulled up when I say I messed it up, and I wasn't able to salvage it. So I had to cut it again because you know what? Sometimes crap happens. It just does. So you get what you get. You don't throw a fit. Luckily, I have enough black to hopefully last me through the season, because if you try to go get some black 12 by 12 sheets from Michael's or Joann's right now, good luck, because they are super sold out. Holiday time, I was telling a friend of mine, is not the time to try to go buy a Cricut. It's not the time to try to go get embellishments, felt, vinyl. That kind of stuff is just gone, gone, gone. And that's okay, because I want everybody crafting during the holidays. So yeah, like I told you, I tried my best to do this, and it just didn't work out. I just ended up having to scrap it, and it is what it is. No biggie. I tried to cut. Look, I'm cutting it. And I feel like so often people, think that we get it right on the first try, that we never mess up. I mess up all the time. And I never really know where I'm going with my designs. So again, you kind of get what you get, and you don't throw a fit. Weeding is a tedious process, which is why I'm still showing this here. You have to get in and out, and you have to figure out which parts are the ones that you want to salvage, which parts need to be pulled up. Another trick for that is to keep the image on the screen so that you can reference what it's supposed to look like while you're working, because let me tell you, I have certainly picked up stuff that should not have been picked up before. It has happened. It can happen to anybody. I actually enjoy the process of weeding, but this here, just, I don't know, I'm out of practice. Also, if this is taking too long for you, feel free to watch all my videos on double time. I watch most people's videos on double time or 1.5, and the way to do that is just go to the little settings menu and hit speed, and then change the speed, and you won't have to worry about it. Now, when I was editing this video, I had no idea that I left this much in, and there she goes. Ah, that was it. You see all that work that I put into that? And I ended up trashing it. Oh, well, you get what you get, and you don't throw a fit, and luckily I have enough black to last me through the season. So I went off camera, cut it again, grabbed what I needed to grab off of there, and we should be cooking with gas now. I hope you guys are enjoying this series, even though this is just the second one. I'm thinking about doing some different types of intros, but we shall see. Let me know what tags you would like to see. Let me know if you're missing the Christmas card series. I usually do Christmas cards. However, this year I was just over it. Everybody's doing Christmas cards, but nobody does 12 tags. And I was really inspired by Tim Holtz, who used to do the 12 tags of Christmas. Remember? Oh, how I miss those. So I figured I'd do my own. Maybe you guys like to see the way I do tags sometimes. Not that I do this all the time, but my take on tags. All right, we sped up. We can move on with life. Let's go. So here we are, and I'm grabbing the transfer tape. And I'm using transfer tape from Hobby Lobby. And I'm just eyeballing it. And don't you just love that font? So I added that swirl up there to that S, and I think I added that C and the T. It doesn't really just come like that, but basically you pick and weld together the font style that you want. I really should do a video on it because I'm talking about it and I love it. So here I wanted to say Merry Christmas Diva because these are called Diva Wreaths. And this whole tag is based off of a Diva Wreath. They were super popular during the holidays in 2019. So remember in 2018, it was all about the dress form with the leaves underneath it. Last year was all about these Diva Wreaths where you would take a head and glue some baubles on there, some Christmas ornaments, and put them on. So this is my take on that. Now we can do it in a little bitty form. And basically, I just created stickers to put on the back. I was just telling somebody how much I don't do stickers, but look at this. This is nothing but a sticker. Where are we going to put it? Boy, I love that font. I think I'm going to use this font for the backs of all the tags, no matter what the theme is. And that darn deer is in the way. Who told me to put that deer there? Again, maybe not my best design decision, but whatever. This is pretty. It's orange and it's teal, and that makes me happy. So there we go. And I thought I was done, but the head just looked empty. I like the heads that actually look down, and this one, the eyelashes go up. I could have certainly cut them off, but I just went with it. So a tag needs at least a ribbon coming off the top. So I went ahead and colored some more ribbon with my alcohol inks. And you can do this with stark white ribbon. You can do this with lace. You can do this. I love that you can color fabric with alcohol inks. And I cut the piece off, and then I went ahead and grabbed some the orange ribbon and did the exact same thing so that we've got some continuity going on. And I like to use tape on the back as opposed to glue, because if you do glue, you might see it on the front. You might see a little splotch of it or whatnot. And the tape works fine. It's down. It adheres well. This is that Stacy tape that I get from Scrapbooking Made Simple. I like the price. I like how it adheres. It's just like score tape, but it's her version, and I'm good with that. I should have used 1/8. I used 1/4 because this is a 1/4 inch ribbon. Not because it was close. Again, I should have used 1/8 inch tape, so it would have been hidden behind it a little better. I didn't have too many issues. I got it straight mostly, but 1/8 would have been better. And I have 1/8. I have all the widths. And of course, we are going to cut that ribbon style. So I just stuck it through from the front and pulled the ribbons through the hoop. And then we cut it at a diagonal angle. And I probably took a lighter and just sealed it. Yeah, I did. That way it doesn't unravel. So here's something I wanted to show you guys. This is something that I wanted to incorporate with all of my cards just going forward, because I make non-traditional size cards and sometimes they won't just stand up on their own. This is a die by Concord and Ninth, which I am obsessed with. And it basically makes an easel. They use this for their holiday calendars so that you can make a calendar that sits on your desk. But I think this die is genius to incorporate with your cards because it lets people display your cards. And this is sturdy enough to display this big old tag. Now, it won't do the super large tags. And again, if you are doing tags like me, or you want to buy the etc. tags from Stampers Anonymous, please look at the size of the tag that you're buying. It might say small, but the small's dimensions are 11 by 6. You know, be careful with that. That's something that I almost got caught up with. So there we are. Thank you guys for hanging out with me, and I will see you on the next tag.